Alright, so we're on the ship now. We're doing some stuff. We need to start examining things. Right. Hey, what's this? This fits me a mousetrap, I think. Perhaps I could distract the crewman's attention with this somehow. I didn't mean to press that. Choo-choo! That sounds like a big mouse in trap. Choo-choo! I will bring bucket of water later. Put out its misery. Oh my god! Not a bucket. That's so sad. Why would you put a bucket of water on the mouse? I mean, okay. In any case, my dear fellow, that was quite unconvincing. Only Japanese mice make a chew sound. Oh, really, Slumps? And pray tell, what sound do Russian mice make? Peep pee, naturally. Although quite unconvincing, I rarely admit it. Okay. I don't know any Russian, but if anyone who speaks Russian could confirm if peep pee is, or if I'm saying it right, if that makes any sense, please tell me. So go ahead, 𝕒𝕤𝕠𝕦𝕤, do a peep pee this time. No, thank you. I'm sure I can come up with an alternative solution. Alright, so... Oh, wait, what about this? What if we use this? Because we need to distract him. This would appear to be an alarm bell. All hell would break loose if that thing were to ring. The whole crew would know about it. In the words of that wonderful movie, time to set it off! Here goes. Pardon me in advance. You! What are you doing? If we were at sea, that would be a very bad problem. What's going on down there? Seaman Stroganoff, report at once. Oh, I did not know that. Sorry, sir. Nothing to report. It was a stupid trick. No, not by me. By world famous... No, as I told you. Now, Holmes, now! Done. Not even 5 seconds, eh? Well, don't stand there gaping at my brilliance. 𝕒𝕠𝕠𝕦𝕤, in we go! Oh, yes. Wouldn't he know you're in there? Okay, well, I guess that worked. Alright, well. Hey! Everything looks kind of... Ooh, what's that? That's peculiar. Good gracious. It would appear that the occupant of this cabin did indeed depart rather hurriedly. And they took off their clothes. Those clothes on the floor. They're Shinshiro's without question. Those are the judges. Look at the shoe. Look at the socks. Ooh, where did he go? Well, it seems we were just a little too late. Yes, by about 2 hours. Still, whilst we're here, we should investigate thoroughly. There may as well be 2 hours worth of clues to find. I'm assuming that is definitely the case because Homeboy seems to be... This does seem to be rather peculiar based on how everything looks. Alright, but that burly crewman might return at any moment, Slums. Indeed he may. Which makes this even all the more thrilling. Sometimes I remember why I like him, because, like, I would, honestly, I'd be like, oh no, they're gonna come. Alright, let's do it. We got a few seconds. Hurry up, chop chop. We've got scenes to do. Alright, let's examine some stuff. First thing I want to examine is this thing right here. Why is this covered? What's going on? There's a speaking tube here, look, though it's been stoppered with some cloth. So the voices of the crewmen on this bridge aren't an annoyance, I suppose. Or, indeed, so that the voices in this cabin aren't heard elsewhere. Could something have happened in here that was for no one else's ears, do you think? Yeah, They were full. I mean, either that or it could be a prevented snakes from entering. There are no snakes. That really has become your favorite case of yours, hasn't it? Alright, so there's that. The sign's messed up. Why is that? These are the rules of the passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or any other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Additionally, there is severe punishments for stowing away in wardrobes and or traveling cases. I feel the rules have increased since I've last read. Probably just my imagination. What about the fact that they're not straight on the wall? Doesn't that strike you? You may be right. Probably just your imagination now. A trifle. As you know, what I always say, 𝕒𝕐𝕐, there is nothing important about trifles. It's probably just my imagination, but I think that might be slightly off. Alright, so we got the thing. Let's check the garbage. Number 1 detective tip, always check the garbage. Always. For some reason, people think that once you throw something away, it's 100% gone forever. And people just leave almost the best clues in garbages. I don't know why they do this, but they just don't tend to think about that kind of stuff. People don't also tend to think about their shoes. They also don't tend to think about like small instances on their bags, or like little specks of like dirt that you have on your clothes, unless you change them. Most of the time you can definitely find these things, but it's definitely like your shoes, the garbage, but those two for sure. The shoes and garbage are like number 1 priorities in like when you're looking for something, because chances are something's gone wrong and the garbage isn't taken out because people forget to do so. But more than likely, yeah, people throw away stuff and don't realize they've thrown it away, and that has incriminated them. You know how many times I've found somebody's like address from like a shipment of something and they just leave it in the garbage? Do you know how easy it is to like frame someone with your address that you get from like Amazon? Oh! And in case you didn't know, also, taking out your address, those little address flaps that you have on Amazon, isn't enough. Now the little QR code that you see, that Amazon has on your package, you can actually use that QR code and like scan that on your phone with a website and find out the address that it belongs to. So you want to get rid of that too. Advice from me. This is the waste paper basket. Look, and there's still rubbish inside. See what I mean? They always leave garbage. Indeed, let us pry. I've discovered recently that I have a penchant for exploring the contents of others' waste baskets. I sincerely hope only for your work. Here's which of a notice include. Here we have a notice issued to passengers from 3 days ago. 3 days ago? The night before we arrived in London. When I was still aboard myself. Alright, evacuation drill notice, 31st of October. Following... Wait, I didn't finish reading! Y'all not about to stop me, hold on. Can I... It won't let me press the button! Oh well. Ah yes, there was an evacuation drill, I remember now. For our safety and security, all first-class passengers were constantly under the watchful eye of the crew. So it was a welcome relief to have some sort of privacy for me. Thank you! I'm gonna go back to reading. Oh! Did I miss something? Oh, it's because I have to do this. I'm gonna go to... I can't do anything else! Oh my god! Interesting, I can't look at the evidence I just picked up. Okay. That's weird. Anywho... Alright, we got the itinerary, the basket. What else is over here? Ooh, something's missing. Hello. The wall is slightly different color just here. Do you see? Indeed. What have you observed arises from when a frame that has been hanging for some time is removed. No, duh, slums. Perhaps your friend is an art thief. Now there's a bold deduction worthy of a great detective, I'm sure. He may very well be an inclusive thief who has been plaguing France's galleries of late. I think perhaps we should focus our attention elsewhere, slums, don't you? He's like, I guess, I believe your friend might be a thief of sorts, but hey, you wanna stick up for him, I mean, I'm not saying he ain't, though. I feel as though I might have spotted that something on a similar shape and size elsewhere. Alright. Now let's look at the trunk. That's some sizable trunk indeed. 𝕤𝕤𝕤 is particle at all things large, and rather a clumsy fellow if he failed to notice he left that behind. Perhaps he left it on purpose. It's lighter than you might think, but still a hindrance to an speedy escape. Pity. It's locked, so we can't look inside. Surely 5 seconds from now the situation will be quite different though, right? Sadly not. It has been 7-digit combination lock. I am not morose enough mood to work through all the combinations at present. Okay. Hang on. You see that very important clue? Hold on, I'm gonna show you right here. Quite the exquisite glass, I must say. See here how it is something wrong, slums? You suddenly trailed off. Ice, 𝕒𝕤𝕤. Ice. What 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤, the first class passenger, enjoyed chilled drinks. Pardon? Could it be that the steamship is equipped with an electrical refrigerated cold room, do you think? Well, it is a luxury liner after all. They might have enormous refrigerators for storing all sorts of lavish produce as well as ice. On our voyage from Japan, we enjoyed culinary delights from all over the world. Suddenly, 𝕒𝕒𝕤𝕤. The sight of you is making my mouth water. Hey, yo? Boys, is there something you wanted privacy for? Like, y'all are on a mission, remember? We have work to do. Oh, this no rebuttal? Just... I haven't taken that flavor of the... I haven't taken on the flavor of the food I ate, you know. This game is so homoerotic. It doesn't even try. It's just... I remember the girlies was like, Ace Attorney is... Hold on. Ace Attorney isn't gay. The characters aren't gay. You guys are just, pushing your agenda onto the game. You want to bet, Susan? You really want to bet? Because I can show you. This game is very much homoerotic. This game has a lot of gayness. You guys think I'm joking. I'm so serious. There are people who seriously believe that this game is not like that. The entire fandom isn't like Okay, I'm saying this wrong. There are people who really believe that Ace Attorney isn't like gay at all. There's nothing gay about it. They're like, oh, it's nothing like that. So it's just people pushing that agenda onto it. And I'm like, the literal designer of the game, like the designer of the characters, literally has literally said and has stated that several characters very much are very much. Do you not understand? There are so many people who get offended at the mention of it, and it's so crazy because it's like, bro, read these lines. Read these lines out loud. Like, how do you not? How do you look at me with a straight face and it's like, yeah, I say this to my friends with no history. And we definitely get women. Just women, no men. We're not okay for each other in the slightest. Isn't gay, but Mia was attracted to Lana. Isn't gay, but Edgeworth thinks that Phoenix thinks Edgeworth is a very handsome man. Isn't gay, but Edgeworth thinks that Phoenix gives him unnecessary feelings. Okay, I'm moving on. Oh, we're in trouble. Ooh! Are you still here? Hey, buddy. Hey, sis. Hey, how are you? I'm not in here. You are dreaming. This is just a dream. Just close your eyes. Just close your eyes and imagine me elsewhere. How about that? Yeah. Okay. This is homophobia, Sailor Boy. How dare? Hey. You're still here? Oh, 𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒. Hello. How are you? Our things. I was beginning to think that you'd never materialize. Shut up. We're in trouble here. Eh? You were waiting for me? Of course! I was expecting you to burst in heartily Roman profanity far sooner. I was in trouble with the captain before because of your tricky... I was in trouble with captain because of the tricky play before. I'm really bad at Russian accents, that's why I'm not doing it. It's all your fault. Ship is leaving port soon. Get off. Now. Of course, we shall depart in presently, my dear fellow. But first... Just whips out dick. I'm sorry. This is why y'all watch me. He just whips it out and it's just like, you two on knees. Attend to me. Same time. Anyway. Yes, attend. Consume the penis. Okay. Devour. Attentive is irony. I'm sorry. There is something that must be done. Oh no! Sip sound. What are you talking about? I think you know what I'm talking about. Just music search. It's like old 70s poor music. Just the poor acting of it all. Why, naturally. The debunking of your deceit and the barging of the truth. I don't know what that means. What does this mean? People who know, like, Russian, what does this mean? What is this? It's in case you're not paying attention. What does this word mean? Please educate your lovely alien who only speaks kinda English what this word means. Before we continue, I'm gonna go to what? It literally means what? Okay. I don't even know how to say that, so. I'm afraid I see through your lies. I pick the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep. For one thing, Mr. Jinguku has not left this vessel at all. And for another, my dear 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤, you know exactly where the man is, even as we speak, don't you? He's in the... Is he in there? How can you... Good gracious, slumps. You mean you worked it out all of it? Imagine he actually, like, works it out decently, and I'll be really, really happy. It's really been too long, hasn't it, old friend? 10 years, no less. So, would you care to join me for a dance of my indomitable logic and reasoning? Nothing would please me more. This is so erotic and intimate in a weird way. What is this? Oh my god. We have but minutes until the vessel puts to sea. No games now. This is very much a game. Time is of the essence. Mrs. Stroganoff, allow me to remind you of your earlier claim. You told us that Jinguku left the ship some 2 hours ago. That is what I said. Sadly, that was a rather clumsily lie. You see, there is something in this room that quite clearly contradicts it. What? Ah, yes, of course. I see you've noted it too, 𝕒𝕠𝕚𝕤. Then please, do take the lead. What is that in that cabinet shows you if possibly the Jinguku have... Whatever. Let's see what the last 3 years have done to your observation skill, 𝕒𝕠𝕚𝕤. It's been 10 years since we last did this, slums, not 3. Why, of course it has. Now, all the clues are here in the cabin for your eyes to see. But as I will always say, you must not merely look, but observe. Observe, and the answers become clear. So, impress me. I feel like, right, if we were talking about a case, we could replace this with them just, like, you know, getting down in the boogie, oogie. But they're just like, Holmes, like, slums isn't being a power bottom in this case. But, you know, that's just the way my brain be thinking. Do y'all think Slums would be a power bottom, or would you think he's more of a top? Like, is that what we're doing here? Like, I'm just saying, do you think... Okay, hold on. That's... Okay, hold on. Hold on. I'm just curious is all. I just want to know, like, you know, as I'm going on. I think I can manage that. When the cabinet shows it's impossible for me having this marked 2 hours ago. well, there's ice in the cup. How do I...
Take that!
Yeah. Oh my god. Perhaps you should have cleared away that ice. How curious that the ice shouldn't have melted despite it being abandoned 2 hours ago. Ah! It would appear that the man was here in this very cabin until moments before our arrival. Okay, great. So you guys definitely think that he'd be a power bottom. I think that's definitely the case too. With the well-chilled glass in hand. I'm not saying he wouldn't be a brat. He definitely would be a brat, but you can be a brat and a power bottom. Get your mind off the refreshment songs. One might even conclude that somebody informed him of our boarding. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Stroganoff? But why would 𝕤𝕤𝕤 run away from us? Before we consider that question, allow me to confirm one small matter. Would I be correct in saying that the first-class cabins of the SSS Rose are the same ones in which you and Mr. Gengoku were accommodated on your voyage from Japan? Ah, that's right, they are. I was in the cabin next door and 𝕤𝕤𝕤 was, yes. 50 days in the very cabin during our voyage, as I suspected. For you see, there are traces in this cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Jigoku had to hide. What traces? I know nothing about this. Ah, this is news to you, is it, Mr. Stroganoff? Holmes, what exactly are you getting at? As I said, there are traces in this cabin of some nefarious activity. What? Did Akuma come and take fucking Gigoku away? Like... Okay, alright. Everyone pause. It's time to educate Opsy and what a power bottom is, because he doesn't understand. Okay, hold on. Like, pausing, please. As I was saying, Akuma was explaining things to us. Something out of place in here? That's the key to this, Mikotoba. There are remnants of dark deed that took place in here that is being masked by something whatever the word was that it ran away. I must say I didn't foresee you doing the dance of deduction with you again, Mikotoba. No, quite. But life is full of unexpected twists and turns, as we well know. Now then, let's see if I can uncover the truth here. Yes, you have the floor, my dear fellow. Let's see.
Take that!
It's the rule of passions in this frame here. They're obviously out of place. The way they're hung crooked on the wall as if they were put in there in a hurry. I understand Opsy and all of us who basically agreed that he is a power bottom disagree with you. Yes, as I'm sure you've already concluded. That frame was originally over there. The shape and size and color are a perfect match. You are right. When did the frame move? Hardly the most observant of crewmen are you, Mr. Stroganoff. I would think your captain is quite justified in having his reservations about your reliability. Oh dear. So, Mikotoba, why don't you lift the frame of the wall? Ooh, a bullet hole! What? Who has been shooting walls? I see. The projectile has been removed. Okay, I will say, obviously, somebody who is a power bottom, right, doesn't necessarily have to be like, do this, do that, like, have this here. Like, they don't have to be, like, commanding about it. They could just be the one leading the situation and wanting to lead the situation. They could be very much... Why? I don't know why that happened. If you're still with me, you know, reload. Or don't move, it'll come back. Clearly the careful occupants of this room have already disposed of it. Now then, Stroganoff. I like his face. I like Stroganoff's face when he's scared or like when he's nervous. I like his face. It's like that little blush is really nice. That's a nice detail. I have distinct impression that you're telling me that you're attempting to shield said occupant. I like that, like, we can see Shlom's chest, and then we can see Stroganoff's is like very clear stomach down to V. Like, this is very well designed. Top notch bowl right there. Like, we can definitely see some greatness out here. I just like how this is designed. I like this. This is really nice. I don't know what you were talking about. Why would I try to protect Eastern strangers? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't an Easterner. Ah, so we're talking about the same man, I see. Good. Ah. I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this in no time, aren't you? Because there's some very noteworthy evidence that explains the reason why you're lying for that man. Is he your lover? Yes, you've been told to keep this present as clearly shown by... I really don't know how to approach this one, Shloms. Ah, my dear 𝕒𝕠𝕔𝕚𝕒, simply first keep first principles in mind. Study your subject from every angle. And I'm quite sure you'll see it. In fact, I'll put a wager on it. So I'm to glare at the fellow from all sides? Well, I certainly do that. Alright, so next... So that means they want me to look at him in a different way. So, him. And don't mind me, I'm just gonna do this. Oh! Hey, buddy! Hey, Big Sandy! What you got right there? What you got right... What's this?
Take that!
That's an awfully lot of weight you carrying back there. It's almost too obvious for words. Quite the universal language of the world. Money. And I wager that the Eastern fellow in question is Shinshiro Goku. Yes. Yeah. So, I presume that you realize what this means. There are clear signs that the crime has been committed in this cabin. And the way we're going, sir, you'll find yourself accused of being an accomplice. But I believe you know, Mr. Stroganoff. You know where Gigoku is hiding at this precise moment in time. As always, 𝕒𝕠𝕔𝕚, in matters of deduction, the furtive glance is your unfaltering ally. Yes, I think you're onto something, Slums. You found the chink in this very fellow armors. We need we need to follow only the man's gaze to know where his prey is hiding. The slight flickers of pupils, a minutely delayed blink. Nothing escapes my attention, even that which is purely perceptible. I think it's crazy that with 𝕒𝕠𝕚, he is not like Sherlock is actually really smart. Well, Shlom is really smart. Like, this is where he's acting like Sherlock Holmes right now, where it's almost sexy to know that like he's just being goofy and trying to give like 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤 like the spotlight when it comes to him solving things, obviously for you. And like, oh, that's interesting. It did say that OBS shut down. That is interesting. Huh, I wonder if that's gonna... Hold on. Let me see something really quick. Huh. It did! It basically said this is a start over. Oh my god! That's so annoying. That's so annoying! Hold on, I want to confirm that for real. Hold on. Alright.
You have to shoot them.
Not stream sniping. Huh, okay. So it doesn't say that. It doesn't say that there are two videos, but it's assuming it's two videos. That's weird. That is interesting. Okay. Moving on. I just wanted to make sure that this is one video. Okay. So yeah, I like that 𝕤𝕤𝕤 is acting like Sherlock Holmes right now. Like, he's actually really smart, but he was just like giving 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤 like the spotlight. He's like, oh, it's this. But he's clearly making a mistake on purpose because he actually knows what's going on. That's hecka sexy. That's actually very sexy and very accommodating. It's so smart if you think about it this way. It's like he's not making one mistake here. He's actually following what's going on, and like together they're actually putting things together. Like 𝕒𝕤𝕤𝕤's not like correcting him like 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤, it's actually this. Like they're actually getting this done. And I guess because they have a time limit, but still I don't think Ace Attorney was like really pushing on that. But like it's really interesting to see that 𝕤𝕤𝕤 just like not, even though he's a spoof character, he's really, really smart. And I love that. Don't get me wrong, I like that he was like an idiot. I don't mind a himbo character. I really don't. I mean, that's why I like 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤. But like, he's so considerate. It's so sweet. Ugh. It makes sense why she would write about him like that. Like, oh, he's got all these adventures and he's doing so well. It's like, because 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤 is actually really brilliant. Like, duh. Nothing escapes my attention, even that which is barely perceivable. One could hardly call this barely perceivable, 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤. The man's turned his entire head. It's not exactly what you describe as a fugitive glance, is it? It's almost too obvious. We shall let your tapping shoes decide, my dear fellow. So what is he looking at? Can I look with you? Can I also look with you? Can I? Is it the trunk? Oh, it looks like it's the trunk.
Take that!
Is something in the trunk, my dear? What are you hiding? You turned immediately to look at this large trunk, didn't you? Ah, the truth is, since 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤 was able to escape this ship in time, and is, at this very moment, doing his best to stifle his breath inside the trunk. If he still has a breath to take, I fear he might be running dangerously low on air. I imagine he didn't count on us making a nuisance of ourselves for quite so long. I think it might be everyone's best interest for us to open the trunk as quickly as possible. But how can we? Are we forgetting about the combination lock? We don't even know the 7-digit code. The combination lock can't be opened from the inside of the trunk. Therefore, there must be an arrangement for somebody to open after our departure. Of course. In short, before 𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒 hiding himself inside the trunk, he must have told someone the 7-digit number for the lock. And I'm sure you can confirm, Mr. Stroganoff. No, I know nothing about combination code. Ooh! Don't move a muscle, my good seaman. Huh? Now, 𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒, would you do the honors and open the trunk? How on earth do you expect me? It's a 7-digit number. Quickly now, we have little time. Oh, that's clever. Oh, that's so clever. Okay. Yeah.
Take that!
What's this? It's open! Now open up! Come on out! You had some metal, didn't you? Well, Yujin, you found me now. Shinshiro, why are you in there? I was really hoping beyond hope not to find you here, you know. But you're not entirely unsurprised, I take it? No, quite. I just wish it was some other way. Well, are you going to introduce me? Ah, your reputation precedes you, Mr. 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤. I've read stories of your many exploits. Excuse my manners, 𝕤𝕤𝕤. This is Mr. 𝕤𝕒𝕠𝕔𝕚𝕒, my old friend and traveling companion. The devil is in details, The devil is in the details, 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤. I believe you meant to say your old friend and traveling companion who made the cowardly decision to flee the country without a word to anyone when things turned sour. I see my reputation precedes me as well. What an honor. Well, Shinshiro, are you going to explain all this? Yeah, why did you run? You know it all by now, I imagine. What you didn't know, of course, is that 3 days ago, on the night before our arrival in Britain, an attempt was made on my life here on this very ship. By the Reaper of the Bailey? Yes, I've since heard. Because you were the one prosecuted by the Reaper, weren't you? 10 years ago now, mind you. And I had no idea at the time what dangerous individual he was. Anyway, when we arrived in London to find the 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤, the 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤ism was postponed until goodness knows when. It became all too apparent to me that I might as well be targeted again. So you decided to flee the capital without saying a word to me about it? I'm afraid so, yes. Of course, I realize now. If you're wondering why I'm not doing voices for them, like the deep voices for them, it's because I read a story earlier and I'm not trying to tire out my voice too much. So I'm reserving those voices for the people that actually, like, really matter if we do see them. I'm not saying these people don't matter, but more so, like, Inosuke and stuff. That I really ought to have confided in you. It's somewhat surprising, I must say. What is? Well, first-class captains aboard luxury steamships are in short supply. Or very short supply. It's more than a little hard to believe that this one just happened to be available. So says the protagonist of some colorful short stories. Well, I don't care for your opinion. The cabin just so happened to be available, so when I purchased a ticket, and here I am. Uh-huh. Who gave it to you? How did this ticket become available to you? I'm just seeing for myself the obvious remnants of that incident in this cabin. So you've already purchased your return ticket before it even docked in Dover, had you? To prevent anyone else taking this cabin and seeing the evidence. Is that it? Yujin, I have nothing to say to you. Oh no, you have a lot to say to me. You know what? You also have a lot to say to the court, because clearly you did something. Well, in the mere 5 minutes, this ship will set off on its onward voyage, and not make port here again till Italy. I'm afraid we must insist that you disbark with us at once. You have no jurisdiction over my movements. We have this, Shinshiro. Take it. What is it? It's a subpoena from the 𝕒𝕤𝕤. You're a man of the law. You know what the ramifications of ignoring a document like this from the British court would be. You came to prepare then, Eugen. Come on, let's go. One moment. What is it, Slums? Inside Mr. Jiguku's trunk. I found this rather fascinating trinket. Ooh! What is that, Shinshiro? I can't help you, I'm afraid. Some small component from something. But what? I have no idea. By the look of his face, I think he genuinely doesn't know. I think he's lying, but, you know, what do I know? Well, let us pocket the small souvenir for our brief sojourn in France. I don't understand why he left. Like, he knew we would catch him. So I don't understand why he left. Like, he knew he would be found out, so why would you leave? Well, young Naruto, I think we've done as much as we can, I'm afraid. The rest will be on the shoulders of you and your assistant. Well, at least he's bringing them to us. You're holding something back from me. Why are you doing this, my love? During the past 30 minutes, while this court was adjourned, all possible efforts were expended. But sadly, Mrs. Jiguku's whereabouts could not be asserted. We must accept the unfortunate conclusion that the Reaper had already done the deed. Wait! There's no sense in wasting any more of the court's time. The prosecution calls for immediate verdict. Objection. No, the trial cannot end now. You're a Japanese man, Ryunosuke. You should know when to lay down your sword. And you should know never to assume when the battle is won. The court has already been presented with all the evidence and heard all the relevant testimony. There can only be one conclusion. The accused is guilty. All relevant testimony? Far from it. There's still a crucial witness from whom the court has yet to hear a single word of testimony. In that case, call your witness to the stand at once, counsel. Yes, my lord. If you please. The witness is already on the way and is scheduled to arrive tomorrow. Ooh, that was fast. Who on earth is this crucial witness? Shinshiro Jiguku, the very man allegedly murdered by the Reaper. Judge Jiguku, you found him? Duh, of course I was gonna find him. This is me we're talking about. But the investigations of every policing resources capital suggest that Jiguku is already dead. Weird how that is, right? How in the name of God did you find the man? Well, my resources never lie. He was was located in France during the recess at the port of Dunkirk. Oh, dang it. Thanks to one Mr. Herlock Shlom's famous deductions. Like, y'all didn't think I was gonna find him? Y'all really didn't think I was gonna be that person? Herlock Shlom's. Yes, Herlock Shlom's. Inspector Gregson almost certainly met Mr. Gigoku on the night of his death. Because along with Professor Hasogi, Gregson was on a mission to assassinate the man. Which means that Shinichiro Gigoku is the sole witness who can clarify exactly what happened aboard the SSS group on the 31st of October. Do you remember the 31st night of October? Well, it would appear that too soon to move on to adjudication at this point. The prosecution concurs. The court must hear Mr. Gingoku's testimony. No judgment should be passed until all testimony has been considered. In that case, I hereby call the end to today's proceedings. Court will reconvene the same hour tomorrow. No objections from either side? Are you asking or are you saying? No, my lord. No objections, my lord. We live to fight another day. By the skin of our teeth. You look so mad, boo. Oh, man. We're getting so close to the end. Okay. Oh. The unexpected halt of the proceedings sent a clamor around the court. But outside the Bailey, which Londoners knew nothing of the secret trial within, was a typical stale night. Then, at a little past 8 that evening, Mr. Shlom's and his partner returned to Baker Street. Ooh, food! We have returned, my dear fellows. Welcome back to Britain, and thank you for your timely help. Think nothing of it. I believe you've had an even more weary day than 𝕤𝕠𝕔𝕚𝕤, and I know. You could say that. We were on the brink of defeat on court earlier. So this prosecutor, Sogi, had you on the ropes, did he? And he's your best friend, you say? Well, he's not really the man I knew in Japan anymore. Kazuma's changed. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I mean, it's incredible to think that he's even entertained the idea of acting as the Reaper's assassin. Well, nevertheless, you must introduce me. After all, I've only met the young man as of course. When all this started almost a year ago. That's when he truly was my friend. He's died and reborn. It's like, ever since he came back reborn, I just don't know who he is anymore. I want my friend back so much. Now then, I must say it's quite a journey all the way to France. Well, it is another country, Mr. Slums. So, what news of Judge Jikoku? We took him to Scotland Yard. The investigating detectives there have a lot of questions for that man. Poor Professor 𝕒𝕐𝕐. They must be in quite a shock for him. Ah, yes. I picked this up at the telegram office on our way home. What is it? Surely you haven't forgotten already. I put upon your matter only yesterday. You put it upon me, Slums. I had to fill out your telegram to Japan and foot the bill as well. You've had a reply already? What was so urgent though, Mr. Slums? Such matters can wait here. Wait later. I'm far too hungry for an involved conversation at present. Well, that's good news because supper is ready, everyone. Ah, what a feast it is! If I was no wiser, I think that the trial was won already. Roast beef, knippers, stew, steak, and kidney pie. Yorkshire pudding. Tomorrow could be a long day, so eat up. In that case, I think I'll seat myself just here. The place which appears to be only one seat with the changing of pheasant as well, with the helping of pheasant as well. Oh, sorry, Hurley, not there. Whatever not. Are we set in places this evening? Yes, and that place is for Susie's daddy. For me? That's right, I made it especially for you, Professor Mickey. I see. Well, that's terribly kind of you. It's 'cause you supposedly knew her dad. It's a shame, really. What do you mean? What do you mean? Well, for a brief moment I believed it. That Susie and I were half-sisters, I mean. Oh! Right. Oh. Iris, do you mean... Yes, I know now. I overheard yesterday. I secretly listened to the conversation you had after I tricked you into all thinking I left. What? Oh! It turns out that Dr. Wilson nor Professor 𝕒𝕐𝕐𝕐 are Iris's father. Yes, about that, Iris. You know, is she an orphan? I know. You can't tell me at the moment. Oh, Iris. I don't like that. I don't like that she doesn't have... Y'all better give her a good dad or a mom or something, or adopt her, because, like, she's 10. She's a genius. She's literally the epitome of amazing. She's so smart and so cute and so sweet. I mean, I'm glad her dad didn't die and get shot in a very brutal way, but, like, ugh. Stupid. The pheasant is by way of an apology. I'm sorry for eavesdropping. Oh, no, that's quite alright. Then why don't I get an apology, pheasant? But you... Herlock! Pay attention! So then, let us. I mean, while our largely pheasantless plates are still piping hot. A fine idea, Slums. It looks absolutely delicious. Eat as much as you like. There are always seconds. Not them saying this is our last chance to ask questions. Like, these are the last questions you're gonna get before this trial ends up. Like, what happens if you don't ask the questions? Is the game just like, oh, well, too bad. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you sitting like this? Why? Herlock. Herlock. What is... Why are you pouting? Mr. Slums, what are you doing? Oh my god, you're such a drama queen. Surely it's abundantly clear that I wasn't brooding over Mr. 𝕒𝕠𝕔𝕚𝕤's refusal to share his pheasant with me. Nevertheless, I felt the need to withdraw from the social circle for a while and look out with hungry eyes. You have food! Oh my god, he's such a baby. Sorry, Hurley, but I cooked that pheasant especially for Susie's daddy. Even though I played the role of the father to you for far longer. Mr. Slums, could I discuss something with you? Curiosity, my dear fellows. I find myself quite in the mood for a spell of conversation. No doubt, you're hungry to learn more about my depths of love for the game. I can probably contain my curiosity on that one. You needn't look at me in that fashion. In what fashion? That, and, you know, queer persons will never sit properly in the seat. Ah! Yeah, you know, you may have a point. So that brings up I'm for the sake of science. For the sake of science. For the sake of science. Hold on. Can I do this? Based on that alone, I'm curious. I'm curious what you guys think. Before we continue, I'm curious. Because now I'm thinking about it and I'm like, yeah, okay, I can buy that. Because, like, yeah, okay, I was curious. I'm just like, because given, you know, how he sits, and he never sits properly, so, like, you're like, so with that, you're like, Anyway, let's talk. So, what was in the telegram you received back in Japan then? Ah, this? I think my lucky stars, it arrived in time. Record found as indicated. Duplicate follows. 𝕤𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. What? Those 4 names. We've come across the exact list before. They came up with the unforgettable case last spring. This appeared to be the sample case of aggravated murder. Turned out to be a masking monumental intrigue. A plot that involved the sale of British governmental secrets to foreign states. Exposing this means by which those secrets were being leaked, they deciphered a fragment of a message. 𝕤𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. But we didn't find the name out until the case was over, and we never did get to the bottom of what they meant. All we knew was that the informant had sent by somebody in the British government to somebody in Japan. So, why are the names coming up again? Because these are the names of the people we know. What are you, stupid? Yes! What did the sender of your telegram discover then, Slums? A lot, technically. I have here the message I had wired yesterday. Allow me to read it to you. Enter Judge 𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒's office undetected and investigate telegram records. Expect to find communication from Britain dated 1 year ago. List of 4 names. Neby 𝕤𝕒𝕚𝕤. I sent it to a detective I know who specializes in clandestine missions of this nature. You asked Inspector Hosonoga to undertake such a onerous task for you? And in my name? My dear fellows, it was a matter of great urgency, but why did you use my name? Anyway, the list of names was found in Shishiro's office, as Mr. Sloane's predicted. So you mean to say that the mysterious collection of names was sent from Britain to Japan was... It was sent by Judge 𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒. He was the intended recipient. What? But that doesn't answer the question of what the list of names actually signifies. Yes, it does. I did formulate a hypothesis about this. But without a shred of evidence, I couldn't possibly have shared it. I don't like what this could be. The tragedy we had gone through on the SSS Brilliance, it was all for nothing because someone wasn't dead at all. We were completely taken by the lies you told us. Your great detective lie. I took no pleasure in deceiving you. However, at the time, all that concerned me was preventing the young man's study tour from taking place, whatever the cost. Alright. What? I capitalized on the events that transpired to see that he was sent back to Japan. His remains, you mean? Precisely, Mr. Sobo. And then I made sure that somebody else was sent to Britain in his stead. We were sent on purpose? The arrangement between our 2 countries was already in place. 1 university student lawyer and 1 judicial assistant to be accommodated on a study tour. In other words, by arranging for somebody else to fill the original place intended for Mr. Isogi, I would successfully prevent the man from arriving on shore for several years at least. What? Do you mean to say that it was all in aid to stop 𝕤𝕤𝕤 from coming to Britain? Then why are you... Think back, Mr. Naruhodo. Was there not somebody who quite casually urged you to continue on the voyage to England? The terms of the study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. In the light of Mr. Sogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. My dear fellows, the majority... Like, he was saying it. He wanted us to go. This is what I mean by he's so smart. Like, he was really smart the whole time. Like, everything he did was on purpose. Like, he calculated that to, like, a whole T. And he knew exactly what he was doing. So to say that he's, like, a himbo or he's dumb wouldn't be true. Because he knows exactly what he wants to do. And that's why, like, a lot of people like Herlock, because he's handsome, he's pretty, he's really goofy, but he also knows, like, he's really smart. And that's what makes me, like, so happy. The voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. So, you manipulated me? I often remark that on extraordinary lengths of which friendship will drive a man. I'm quite sure that you would rise to the challenge for your late friend. I don't believe it. What if I were all too contrived? I mean, what happened was treated by the authorities as a murder. The woman who was secretly arrested at the perpetrator, what do we suppose became of her? Naturally, I didn't follow the misapprehensions to any other serious repercussions. I subsequently explained everything and assisted the unfortunate soul in finding the foreign refuge she thought. I seem to remember Miss Soto, and I had some rather strong words for her. Well, she was certainly not devoid of ill guilt. She deserved every word, I'm sure. I'm afraid I simply cannot comprehend it. Why would you go to such lengths, Mr. Slums? Why would you so determined to stop 𝕤𝕤𝕤 from reaching Japan? The truth is, 12 months ago, there was already a tangible omen of the impending tragedy, you see. Oh? An omen that at this very moment in time is close at hand. We need to find out what exactly Mr. Sloan knows. There's no room for doubt that your instructions in this telegram, Mr. Shrooms. You were very clear at the Judge Jiguku office that should be researched. So, you obviously knew that that's where the list of names would be found. But we only learned of those 4 names just over the 6 months ago. And now only because they appeared as a part of the top secret government communications that were leaked. That's true, but at the time you were unaware of the background. You see, those 4 names were wired to Japan around 6 months ago. Before that, approximately this time this year in the year, we were both still in Japan. It really would be hypocrisy of my part to improve others for interrupting the state secrets. Perhaps after all, I'm perpetually eavesdropping on communications between Britain and Japan governments. You're perpetually doing what? How? Never mind the details, but you should know. No secret is safe from Herlock slumps when he has a design on knowing it. Oh my, Mr. Slums! What a fabulous line! Now, 1 month after the list of 4 names were wired to the recipient Jiguku in Japan, Dr. John H. Wilson was murdered. And as soon as I learned the incident, a hypothesis rapidly took shape in my mind. As it turned out, I was partially correct and partially mistaken. Nevertheless, it was the beginning of all the tragic events that were to follow. Mr. Slums, please, tell us all that you know. Tell us about the 4 names and the tragedies to which they are all somehow connected. As I said, when I learned of Dr. Wilson's murder in Japan, my mind immediately turned to the 4 names because, you see, there's someone else on that list who I believe to be recently deceased. What? Who? A Shin, as described in Japanese script, is actually the famous assassin. That was a familiar name to me. She was a professional killer. Well known for among London's unsavory classes. Oh, I see. But she hadn't completely vanished from the existence several months ago before Wilson's murder. So I came to the logical conclusion that she had herself been killed. And accordingly, I became fearful for the bodies of the remaining 2 persons on the list. And then Gregson's dead. So Sogi's the last one. Owing to our proximity, I decided to take measures of protecting Gregson myself. But underdetermined, it would be the safest if young Asogi were to stay away from Britain. So that's why you went to such lengths to prevent his studying tour from going ahead. Exactly. So you already knew it was Kasuma-sama who Kasuma-sama-san was, Mr. Slums? Oh yes, Slums and I have exchanged correspondence for years. I've recounted many tales about Risogi to him in my letters, and the news of Dr. Wilson's death, of course. So, Dr. Wilson is dead then? I didn't know. Oh, well, Iris, since he's not your dad. I know he wasn't my daddy, but still, that's very sad. I'm so sorry, Iris. We knew the significance of the name, obviously, but we just couldn't bring ourselves to tell you. No. But what you just told us, Mr. Slums, doesn't completely tie in the facts that there's one big hole in your hypothesis. A big hole, Mr. Naruhodo? Ah, yes. You mean about the assassin, I presume? Oh, of course. Exactly. She wasn't killed, was she? She was in Japan posing as a victim student under the assumed name 𝕤𝕒𝕤𝕤. I'm glad you're keeping up, my dear fellow. But I'm only become aware of that fact 2 days ago. In fact, foyer of the Great Waterfall Hotel. And upon hearing that startling revelation, the hypothesis that I formed surrounding those 4 names was completely turned topsy. What? Topsy? I so badly want to finish this. Like, immensely want to finish this. So bad. Because I'm so curious. Like, what is happening and how did this all get here? And oh, like, how did this all happen? What do you mean when you say your hypothesis was turned topsy, Mr. Slums? I believe all 4 names on this list by the names of victims. However, I was mistaken. Very much so. Assassin was a killer. So this telegram is a list of both victims and killers, is it? Indeed, and it would seem that the Miss Assassin was dispatched from Britain with the sole intention of dispatching Dr. Wilson. Her very student status being merely a front. Which would of course explain why no motive would be determined for her actions. So the real reason Dr. Wilson was killed by Dr. Assassin is because he was a target of an assassination. And for a minute of that knowledge, first consideration of this telegram puts the list in a very different perspective. So he was just killed for no reason? What do you mean? Well, does it not strike you there is another among the 4 who subsequently became a visiting student? Wait, you mean... But of course, a name you know only too well. You mean Kazuma? Oh, he did say in court earlier today. Yes, on the 31st of October, I accompanied Dr. Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission. And that mission was the assassination of the Mark. Young Mr. Sogi accepted the mission a year ago. Surely not. In conclusion, this document is a contract of sorts. An international agreement, one might say, detailing an assassin's exchange. An assassin exchange? Now I'm more curious. Let's assume that you have 2 parties each wishing to dispose of a distinct individual. Those 2 parties then make a contract to swap their respective assassination targets. That would be an assassination exchange. So to begin with, the British assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Japan where she kills her target. And then the Japanese assassin is dispatched as a visiting student in Britain in order to eliminate his target. It certainly does sound like an exchange. But what on earth is the point? Don't forget, Naruhodo, that the British assassin at least escaped conviction, thanks to the diplomatic immunity awarded by consular jurisdiction. Ah, yes. Such jurisdiction, should be null and void under the terms of the new treaty between our 2 countries. So the fact that this was brought into play suggests this intervention at the very highest levels. and as such, they appeared utterly unrelated. Yet in truth, the assassins was complex in this one singular devilish scheme. That dissociation and the safeguard of diplomatic immunity were, I believe, the motivation behind this plot. But wait a minute, Slums. If this telegram really is describing the exchange of assassins as you're suggesting, it would mean that the Japanese killer's target was never Shichiro Gikuku at all. It would mean Asoji's target was actually Inspector Gregson. What? Because someone was here for Gregson? Yes, that's exactly what it would mean.
Well, yeah, he did say he followed him. I told myself personally responsible for failing to keep the inspector safe.
Mr. Slums. I told him my fears and implored him to seek a transfer to an overseas position, obviously, with the youth pickpocket in tow. Oh, that's why he wanted to leave. Come to think of it, Inspector Gregson did mention that at the great exhibition that he'd be transferred to Paris police and taking Gina with him. But without informing me, he engaged in one last assignment, it seems. And sadly, it turned out to be his very last. Alright everyone, that's quite enough in all that serious talk for a day. Isn't it, Hurley? I mean, look at the time! Ah, quite right, Iris. We must conclude our preparations for tomorrow. What preparations? Well, I think I shall make my way back to the hotel room now. This was certainly been a night to remember. It is a little sad, though. I mean, I like the idea of you being my daddy. Because then Susie could have been my big sister. I'm sorry, Iris. I know, Iris. I was thinking quite the same thing. Were you? But if somebody like me would be worthy, I would be delighted to become your sister. What? Really? Oh yes, without question. So, you'll teach me all the ways you know to throw Runa to the floor? Yes, yes, of course. It would be my pleasure. You didn't have to agree quite readily. Oh, but wait a minute. Is Susie going to be my big sister? You get to be my big brother if you want, Runo. Huh? I mean, yes, of course. I mean, if you'll have me, I'll gladly be your brother. Well done, Iris. We must always be mindful of feelings. I've raised you so well. Because being sensitive is your strong suit, naturally. Right, I'm going to work extra hard for tomorrow now. Because it's for my big brother and sister. What is all this talk about preparing for tomorrow? Preparing for what? You just have to wait and see. Oh. Good luck in court then tomorrow. I'm expecting a sterling performance. I'll do my very best. Of course. Man, there's so much happening. So then overnight break in the trial's proceedings became a crucial turning point. Exposing new truths whilst posing conundrums. That list of 4 names on the telegram in Judge Goku's office, and that the extraordinary assassination plot in which my best friend had somehow become involved. I felt as though I had been plunged into the greater darkness of all of a sudden, but at the same time, I felt sure that I would see the light again soon. Because I was lucky enough to have the most wonderful family in the world steadily standing steadfastly behind me. Oh, this is a lovely photo. Just like, I love them. I wish this wasn't here. Not the group shot. I wish I could erase this, but I can't. This is such a beautiful shot.
This is we'll take it just in case. No, so pretty. Wait, hold on. Got it. I got it. Actually a great place to drop off because this is gonna be a case. It's gonna be a case, bro. This is gonna be a case. I will say this is gonna be one of those cases that's gonna be very, very long, and this is probably gonna be a 3-part trial, which I'm excited for. And y'all, I'm gonna make this into the fullest, but I'm gonna stop here. And I know I've been cutting streams short lately. I know, I'm so sorry. It's because, like, these extra events are taking a lot out of me, and, like, I just want to give y'all all the energy I got. But, that being said, there's a lot in store coming through. I'm going to make sure that I do all of the donation goals and get those out of the way. It's a lot happening. Well, oh, and I did send the letters out. The letters out. So be looking in your mail. Okay. All right, everybody. It's been a lovely night, and I hope you all sleep well, drink water, and have pleasant dreams. Good night.